Hi, hope you guys are doing well. It's time for one of these. I made one for Game of Thrones like a year ago, and I figured because I'm still not at home, why not do one for House of the Dragon Season 1. Also keep in mind that this is gonna be ranked based on acting and writing and nothing else. For example, for my Game of Thrones tier list, I think I ranked Joffrey in like A tier something. That's not because I like the guy. Let's jump right into it. Let's start right away with Aegon II. Well, I think Tom Glencarney is a really good actor, and I really enjoyed both, actually. I enjoyed Ty Tennant as well, even though he's already very, very evil. Like, they made him a rapist right away, which I didn't expect. I think it worked, and I think this is one of the better characters in House of the Dragon for sure, and I would rank him in A tier, actually. Next up, we have CM Brooke, who played Emma Arryn on the show. What can I say? Just such a powerful scene. That whole C-section scene is so incredibly powerful. It's one of the best scenes of House of the Dragon Season 1, in my opinion. And that very much comes down to her performance as well. And I think I'm going to put her into A tier as well. Even though she's a very minor character, she doesn't have much screen time. The screen time that she has is just powerful, and therefore she definitely deserves that. Next up, we have one of my favorite, if not my favorite character in House of the Dragon, in Fire and Blood, Aemon Targaryen. Where do I start? A lot of people, of course, have problems with him accidentally killing Luke, and I'm very mixed on that as well. But overall, the way House of the Dragon really took its time to explore Aemon, not just make him into a goofy anime villain, just a goofy, something like Euron in Game of Thrones. I like that. I think that could be very interesting. Would I have preferred him to be the one that actually wanted to kill Luke at Shipbreaker Bay? Of course, yeah. But regardless, I think he is definitely one of the best characters in House of the Dragon, and I can't do anything but put him right up to S tier. I also really enjoyed Leo Ashton's version of Aemond. I think that was just phenomenally well done, especially the first writing scene of Vhagar, the way Aemond claimed Vhagar was a very beautiful scene. Very biased on this, but I don't care, he deserves to be up there. Next up, we have his mother, Alicent Hightower, the older version, Olivia Cook's version, who I consider to be one of the best actors on the show. Olivia Cook absolutely delivered in each and every scene that she was in. I definitely think she deserves an Emmy. Just that eye for an eye scene alone was just so well done. When it comes to the writing, I personally like it. I see a lot of people not liking it for that whole agency stuff, taking away her agency. But I think what happened in House of the Dragon was them just leaving that for the later seasons. Sure, it's a very big part that Alicent pushed Aegon. In turn, if they make it more interesting in the later seasons where there's actual balance, and I'm talking about both Rhaenyra and Alicent here, I think that's still gonna come. I think we are gonna see reckless versions of both Rhaenyra, Alicent, but them making them younger and emphasizing more on that made sense for the choice that they've made. And I think war will change that eventually. So, and also, I mean, it's not like they're angels, right? Both Alicent and Rhaenyra had people killed, so it's not like they are just perfect, just decent. Yeah, enough talking. I think I would rank her in the A tier as well, honestly, A tier. Next up, we have young Alicent Hightower, who was played by Emily Carey, and I think she went out with a big bang. The very last scenes that she was in were her best scenes. The scene she had with Otto Hightower, the scene of her entering the throne room was just so incredibly well done. Like, that whole dynamic of House of the Dragon changed right then and there. And yeah, I like her. I like her performance. And I think she deserves to be up there at B tier. Next up, we have Lord Caswell, who was hanged in, I think it was episode 9, for standing up for Rhaenyra. He was also in episode 6. He has a very minor role. E and F are for characters that are flawed, so I will just put him into the D tier category. Next up, we have Arik Cargill, because the picture that they used for the second Cargill brother is the one of Arik delivering the crown of Viserys to Rhaenyra, so I think that's Arik. There's just not as much there yet, so D tier it is. Next up, we have a character that has even less screen time, Baela Targaryen. Well, there really isn't all that much there. They cut out the scene of Daemon and her and Rhaenyra, which I think is a big mistake, but that's a whole nother topic. And that's definitely some wasted potential there. But then again, they had so many characters that they had to set up, so I'm glad that they didn't cut any children so far. Daron is also going to be in season 2, so yeah, they can definitely do a better job here. But they also didn't do anything that's just completely wrong with her character, so she just joins the guys at D tier. Next up we have Boremund Baratheon, who we had the chance to talk to on our podcast. Julian Lewis Jones is just such a nice guy, and he actually told us a lot of behind the scenes stuff, so definitely go check out that video. But yeah, for the amount of screen time that he has, he was very memorable actually, in that he was one of the first to not really like go against Rhaenyra, but that moment that he had when Rhaenyra was crowned, where he was hesitating, was very memorable. And it was that first moment where you're like, oh, okay, I see, not everyone's gonna like this. And therefore, plus that scene that Rhaenyra has with like the Blackwoods against the Brackens and all, and the Round Hall of Storm's End. Therefore, I'm gonna put him into C tier. Great guy. Next up, we have once again one of my favorite characters of House of the Dragon, Fire and Blood, Corlys Velaryon. And I gotta say, I'm so disappointed. Steve Toussaint is a great actor, perfect for the role. Not even a single doubt about that. He is very passionate about the role as well, which is always awesome to see. I liked it a lot. But given how much potential there is to like really tell tales, like the guy has been all around the world, he's seen it all. And I just don't get how they didn't let him talk about it. I wish we would have gotten something. I wish we could have gotten way more, apart from that whole The Queen Who Never Was stuff. It was all said and done pretty much after the second time around. Like, we got it, okay. Rhaenys got set aside, which sucks, but come on. Be your own character. You're one of the best characters in this time period, and I hope we get more in season 2, because if we're talking about disappointments, I think this is the biggest one for season 1 for me. Not groundbreaking or anything, but I definitely wished we would have gotten more, and therefore I'm gonna rank him at C tier. Now, obviously, I already hear the comments. Why are you ranking Boremund and Corlys in the same category? And it's, well, like, for the screen time that Boremund has, it was very good. For the screen time and the potential that Corlys had, it was not that good, you know? So I think it's deserving. If it were like my favorite characters in general thing, that he would be here, right next to Aemond, but he's not. And moving on, we have the Crab Feeder, who they made it seem like he's gonna be this like huge thing, and I saw people getting all hyped up, and I was like, man, he's gonna die soon. And well, he did. I didn't mind that we didn't get like a badass fight between Daemon and the Crab Feeder. I don't need that. Daemon has Valyrian Steel. The guy has Grayscale on the other hand, which of course made that whole scene at the end a bit questionable. Like, why are you giving him Grayscale when you plan on having Daemon drag him around the sea and stuff? But again, I think they want to sell some Funko Pops and what else and whatnot. It was a fine, cool character, and gave us our first battle in House of the Dragon. I'm gonna put him into the D tier category. Next up, we have Fabian Frankel's Kristen Cole, and apart from that whole wedding stuff, which is a very weird writing decision to have him kill Joffrey Lonmouth at the wedding and punch Laenor and just get away with it, especially if you think about it from a perspective of like, well, after this episodes, we're gonna do a huge time jump, so we're not gonna go into any details about how he avoided all kinds of consequences. So that was definitely a bit weird, but apart from that, I think definitely a great casting choice here. Fabian Frankel is a great actor. This incel-like character, he plays him very well, although I'm sure in real life he doesn't have any problems with that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna rank him right next to Emily Carey in B tier. Next up, we have Daemon Targaryen, an absolute fan favorite, and I like him as well. Lots of people were mad about him choking Rhaenyra, which didn't make much sense to me that they were mad, because, well, we already saw that what kind of a man he is, and if that shocked you, I think you are like 8 episodes too late or something. Like I don't remember when he killed Rhea Royce. I think it was episode 4 or 5, but I'm not sure. Matt Smith is great for the role. Lots of charisma going on. I definitely would have loved to see Daemon showing emotions more often in the show. Like they've cut a good chunk of that scene where he was crying at the beach in the last one, and then again we had that scene with Baela and Rhaenyra, which I don't understand why they cut it, but overall pretty good. I like the character in House of the Dragon. It's between B and A tier, but I think I'm gonna rank him in B tier because they can definitely improve some stuff here. It's not as horrendous as people make it seem. Like I saw so many horrendous takes in the last couple of days, but it could definitely be better. Anyways, then we have Eric Cargill, and he's just gonna join his brother Arik in D tier. Not gonna spend too much time on that. Same thing goes with Maester Gerardus, Rhaenyra's Maester. Then we have, I think it's Gerald Royce. I think it's Gerald. I'm not sure anymore. He's gonna join D tier as well. Anyways, we then have Helena Targaryen. I think it's just such a great decision to make her a Targaryen dreamer, a dragon dreamer. It's already a very tragic character, but also a character that we don't know too much of. She is one of the characters that they can definitely expand. I'm already like the people who know, you know what's about to happen, and I don't think I'm ready for it. It's just very sad. And yeah, it's gonna be House of the Dragon's Red Wedding, but not gonna spoil anything, so let's just continue. I'm gonna put her into the B tier category as well. Tia Saban was great in The Lost Kingdom as well, by the way, just like Ewan Mitchell, so definitely go check out that show. Next up, we have Sir Harold Westerling, who I think already died at like 111 AC or 112 AC. So in the source material, he's been dead for a long time now. But they expanded his role, which I'm fine with. Graham McTavish is a great actor. Curious to see where they go now, if he's gonna join with Rhaenyra, probably. But he could also just wait for Aegon. He definitely had some nice scenes. I like his Barristan Selmy moment, and I think I'm gonna rank him at C tier. Next up, we have Sir Harwin Strong, who instantly became a fan favorite in the very episode that he died. And yeah, that is all down to the time jumps. Definitely would have loved to spend more time with him. Ryan Core definitely did a great job portraying him in the scenes that he had. Definitely enjoyed him beating the absolute dog shit out of Kristen Cole. So I think I'll put him into the C tier section as well. Then we have Sir Hobart Hightower, who they merged with the Lord of Hightower, who we still don't have a name of in Fire and Blood in the source material. I like that change, that there's someone working in the shadows for House Hightower that was very much established through multiple episodes in this season. I definitely believe in the Maester's conspiracy, so that is something that I definitely enjoyed, and I'm gonna put him right next to Harwin Strong at C tier. Next up, we have Jace. Definitely gonna be someone who's gonna play a bigger role in season 2. I think they're gonna really expand on the Pact of Ice and Fire and show us Winterfell and Cregan Stark. We used to call him Cregan, but now the show came out of nowhere and called him Cregan. So anyway, and so far not bad, not too great either. There's nothing wrong with his scenes, so I'll put him right next to Hobart, sure. We then have Jason Lannister, who, like, that was a very memorable performance, and if you can, go back and watch the scenes that he has. There's something going on that just really reminds me of, like, season 2 Tyrion Lannister. And I don't know if that was intentional, like his whole manner of speech, the way he talks, everything just sounds like Peter Dinklage. And I don't know if that was intentional, but if it was, kudos. The actor whose name I keep forgetting plays both Jason and Tyland Lannister, and I think he's done a great job. And therefore, I'm gonna put him into the D tier section as well, right next to Jace. Jasper Wild, we don't have all that much, so D tier it is. Joffrey Lonmouth, very memorable, of course. I mean, Kristen smacked the shit out of him until he died at a wedding of his best friend, who happened to be the groom of the heir to the Iron Throne. But again, I bitched enough about it. I don't understand it. I think that is one of the worst parts of season 1. But Solly McLeod did a great job portraying Joffrey, and I'm gonna put him into the D tier section. Next up, we have Joffrey Velaryon. Again, not that much there, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on that. D tier. Gonna come in later. Gonna have some very memorable scenes. But let's continue. Rhaenyra Velaryon. I liked her. I liked her a lot, actually. I liked her death scene as well, even though I would have preferred her book version's death scene. This one was also good. Like, I didn't mind it. I liked her character in general. It was very memorable, and just like Harwin Strong, the fans wanted to see more of her, which is always a great sign. I mean, if the time jump wouldn't have happened, we would have gotten more, and I'm gonna rank her right next to Jason Lannister at C tier. Next up, we have Rhaenyra Velaryon, and I really enjoy them. Both versions. I know we got a third one as well, but he didn't have any lines, so I mean Theo Nate's version and John McMillan's version. Great job. They definitely did him justice. He's an improved version of the one we got in Fire and Blood. His death scene, obviously that's a change. Rhaenyra was dead and gone in the source material, but I didn't mind. There's some questions that need to be answered with Sea Smoke. Definitely now that they've set up this whole Dragon Bond plot that might otherwise just be a plot hole. I like that they've done a gay character justice here. Usually, especially if you look at like Loras Tyrell is a great example here. They really didn't do him justice. It was very stereotypical, and nah, he's a great character in House of the Dragon, Rhaenyra, and he definitely deserves to be up there at D tier as well. Yeah. Next up, we have Larry Strong, and I gotta say, Matthew Needham's portrayal of Larry Strong is one of my favorites in House of the Dragon. That whole monologue that he has is just out of this world, just great. I really like that monologue that played over like Harrenhal burning, and yeah, that is one of the sneaky guys, one of those various Littlefinger types, and it's gonna be very enjoyable all throughout the run of this show to speculate about him. What is he up to? And could have done without the feet stuff, without the foot stuff. Not, but not groundbreaking. I mean, we're watching the show and see people fucking fighting and killing each other week in and week out. But yeah, definitely could have done without it. The leaks were even worse, but thankfully it didn't turn out to be true. So yeah, I'm gonna put Larry Strong into the A tier section. Next up, we have Lucerys Velaryon, Luke Skyfaller, as Constantine Films used to say. He didn't have all that much, but the scenes that he had were great, especially like him laughing at Aemond. That was so hilarious. Really enjoyed that, and I think obviously the Shipbreaker base scene was just incredibly well shot, and yeah, I think I'm gonna put him into the C tier section as well, right next to Rhaenyra. Lyman Beesbury, and I almost didn't recognize him because, well, obviously with all those time jumps, he didn't have all that much hair. But yeah, went out honorable, went out on a big bang. I'm gonna put him right next to Lucerys. Then we have Kevin Spokes as Lionel Strong, and that was one of the characters that really surprised me. Like, Kevin Spokes really gave Lionel a level of sincerity that I just didn't anticipate. Was a very honorable hand, probably one of the best Hand of the Kings we've ever seen in the Westeros franchise. I really liked him. I really liked his performance. I really liked Lionel as a character. I'm gonna put him right next to Helena at B tier. Then we have Grandmaster Mellos. Yeah, very sneaky, very much in the background. Definitely was used in a lot of scenes that were supposed to be set up for the conspiracy. I'm gonna put him right next to Joffrey. Oh well, there it is. Miss Arya, my least favorite character in House of the Dragon so far, and no, it's not about her accent, it's just that it's boring. I mean, if you have a character like this where obviously like just from that shot they are using here, you know that she's gonna be like the sneaky thing and working from the background, and then there's nothing much there. I know she's gonna be very busy later on, but season 1 would have been the time to lay the foundation for that and really set it up and show us what this character is all about. And lots of that character development was happening off screen, and I just didn't buy it. Just didn't work for me. Least favorite character in House of the Dragon so far, which has nothing to do with her accent or the actress. I think Tsunoya Mizuno is a great actress, but it's just like not not good, man. It's just not good in my opinion, and therefore I'm gonna put her into the F tier section. Yes, because I think the screen time was wasted there. Next up, we have Orwell. Where do I put Orwell? We didn't get much yet, so he's gonna join his Maester buddy at D tier. Anyways, let's continue with Otto Hightower, Rhys Ifans. I absolutely love the way Rhys Ifans plays Otto. His character has a lot of resemblance of Tywin Lannister, but in his own way. He's not as ruthless as Tywin, and that's gonna be made clear in season 2. But yeah, what is there to say apart from that? I just really like him. Whenever he's on screen, that usually means we're watching a great scene. So I'm gonna put him right next to Larys at A tier. Then we have Carl Corey, who's just like Laenor. I believe both are gonna come back at some point. Given that Laenor is very much a lover of battles, he's gonna be back for Rook's Rest, and I expect Carl Corey to be there by his side. So apart from that, there's nothing too much. So I'm gonna join Orwell. Same thing for Regio Hardis, who was the palace man, the palace, like the owner of the palace in Pentos. Yeah, D tier as well. Then we have Rhaenyra Targaryen, who suffers from the same problems that Baela has, honestly. I think it could be very interesting the way it was shot, like when Daemon was talking about all of the dragons that they have. When he was talking about Vermithor, Rhaenyra was on screen for a second when he mentioned Vermithor. I think there was a subtle little hint that Vermithor is going to be ridden by Rhaenyra, which is a change to Fire and Blood, but not a change that I would mind actually. Gotta be D tier as well. Then we have Emma Darcy's Rhaenyra Targaryen, and man, great actor, great performance, great character. I really like and enjoy Rhaenyra all throughout the season, all throughout the show so far. I hope House of the Dragon changes some stuff and really gets her involved in the Dance of the Dragons. Yeah, really liked Emma Darcy's performance, and I'm gonna put her right next to Otto Hightower at A tier. Then we have Millie Alcock's Rhaenyra, which I liked even more. I think in the first couple of episodes, it was just very, like, you got the sense of the decadence, which Ryan always said. Like, you really got a sense that this was the prime of House Targaryen. It was almost exclusively shown through young Rhaenyra. I liked it a lot, and I think she is one of the best portrayed and written characters in House of the Dragon, and therefore I'm gonna put her right up to S tier actually. Then we have Rhaenys, another of my favorite characters in the overall story, but one of my least favorite characters in House of the Dragon, and that is a very, very bad thing. Eve Best is perfect for the role. There's nothing wrong with her acting, and I really liked her. One of her first scenes with young Rhaenyra, the balcony, very good. It was very promising, but didn't go anywhere particularly apart from her killing innocents and becoming a murderer, right then and there, and it never went further than her being the queen who never was. She never was allowed to be her own character. I want more. She deserves more. She's one of the most badass characters in this time period, and I hope we actually get to see that in season 2. That being said, I will put her into the E tier section. Then we have Rhea Royce. Yeah, I'm seeing a few characters that I'm just not gonna spend too much time on. Rhea Royce, D tier. Brian Redwine, was good to see him, legendary. Glad we got to see him. Then they killed him off screen, but I get it. So many characters. D tier as well. Miguel Sapochnik's wife, Talia, I think. Gonna put her in D tier as well. I think I'm actually gonna I'm actually gonna rename this one. It's not the D tier section. This is the not much screen time section, and I should probably put that here. Yeah, um, that's better. That just makes it look better because I can't justify them being over Rhaenys. So let's just keep them separate. That is what it is now. Because I don't want to get yelled at by people saying that, like, how is the crab feeder higher than Rhaenys? That doesn't make much sense. It does. It does. In its own way, Rhaenys has way more potential. Therefore, she deserves to be judged way more critical. Then we have Tyland Lannister. Gonna be very interesting later on, but right now doesn't have too much of a role. Gonna put him into the not much screen time section. Waymond Velaryon, I really enjoyed him. Great performance by Wilco Johnson. That entire throne room sequence is just one of my all-time favorite sequences in both Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. Was just perfect. I don't have any other words for it, and therefore I will rank him right next to Beastbury at C tier. Then we have King Viserys, who is just, I mean, Paddy Considine's performance. Everyone was all over it, and fair enough, I was all over it as well. That was just perfect. That was just so much better than the version we got in Fire and Blood. That whole throne room sequence alone deserves an Emmy. The way it was shot, the way he came in, and the music accompanied that scene, and was just very, very powerful. And you like felt for this character, even though you wanted to like wake him up, and it was just very tragic. The way George described it, that was really right on the money. I liked him. I think he deserves to be up there at S tier with Daemon and Rhaenyra. Then we have Spartamus Celtigar, who, well, not much screen time. Boremund Baratheon, I enjoyed quite a bit, I gotta say. I really like the way they handled it with him not being able to read, and in turn he's now this like, well, he's not responsible for what happened. He's definitely gonna, Rhaenyra is definitely gonna have her problems with Boros now, and well, he's a traitor. We don't have all that much. There's gonna be more in the future, and I'm looking forward to it because the actor is very good. I liked his performance a lot. Well, and then at the end, I'm sorry, we're just gonna end it here. That is all I have for today. That is my tier list. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you would have done differently here. Let's talk about it down in the comment section. Also, this is just my opinion. Let's be nice to each other. Until then, take care and see you later.